All right, got Wade Shiu in the hot seat today. How you doing, man?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing pretty good. So, Wade, if you can, just tell me who you are, where you're from, and who you direct to.
Yeah. So Wade Shiu, I am direct to Kishan and his wife Johanna Monteith, and currently in Fort Mill, South Carolina. So
How long have you been with Symmetry?
just under 2 years, about a year and 10 months.
Year and 10 months. Okay, so you got a year and 2 months on me.
Yeah.
And what kind of brought you to Symmetry? What did you do before this?
So I was actually a pharmacist for 17 years, and just worked.
17 years, dude. How old are you? You look 25.
I'm 41.
No shot. Come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, you
I get
look
that all the time.
young. You look young, young. That's good though. So pharmacist for 17 years, and what got you
Yeah.
into this?
Yeah, so my mom actually, just before coming here, she passed away and of cancer. And I just remember at her funeral, people were talking about, just the stuff that she did for them. And I'm running the timelines in my mind. I'm thinking that was when she was on hospice, when she was, going door to door, giving people food and different stuff. And I just thought, man, pharmacy is a great profession, six-figure income, that kind of thing. But I don't feel like I'm making the impact that I need to. Like, I don't feel like I'm changing lives. And healthcare has just become kind of like a conveyor belt kind of a thing, just step one, step two kind of a thing. And I don't feel like as changing people's lives. And so, I started looking and found a Monteith group on ZipRecruiter. So I applied and
Uh,
they called me back
how's
first.
it been for you? Like, what's it done? What's Symmetry kind of done to your life in the last 2 years that you've been here?
Oh man. Um, well, prior to coming here, when my mom passed away, it happened to be when I was on vacation. And I just remember getting the phone call from corporate telling me, you have to choose one or the other, vacation or bereavement, because you can't have that many days off back to back. And uh, so my wife leans over and touches me on the arm and she says, "Don't say what you want to say to them right now," you know,
Yeah,
and just,
I'd have been
just,
fired right there.
yeah. So the work-life balance that Symmetry has given me is unreal. If I got something coming up, I'm still in the field. If I got something that's coming up, I just work ahead of it. Or I work behind it. And her dad got sick not too long. My wife's dad got sick not too long ago, and she's like, "We need to go. He's taken to the hospital." I just stopped what I was doing and went to go take care of it. And I can just make up for it when I get back. So I love the flexibility that this business gives you. Yep.
Yeah, it feels like you get control of your life back. Absolutely, man.
Yep.
A lot of hours in a factory that I've gotten back from my life. I'm pretty happy with it. Um, what are kind of some of the things that you enjoy in the Monteith organization? Because I know I'm really under like you guys' umbrella up there, being under Melissa's group and stuff. What are kind of some things you like that's going on in you guys' organization?
So Kashan is really big on like the root cause. So right. So APV, or a high number of apps, right? That's the fruit on the tree, which everybody likes or everybody wants. But Kashan understands that that fruit is attached to a branch, attached to a tree, and then down into the roots. And so he's real big on focusing on, root causes that leads to those other things. And it's kind of it's a slower, kind of an organic type of process. There are some things that can change immediately. But what I like about that is it's a sustainable process that he coaches on. So it's like, hey man, I'm struggling with this. Okay, what books are you reading? Right? That's not something that you're thinking like, dude, I mean, I had a goose egg week. I didn't maybe I didn't write as much business as I wanted to. And he's like, okay, so what do you read? And I'm like, man, that's not what I want to hear right now.
More of a
But
mental
it's
aspect. I kind of
yeah,
I kind of like that though. It's a
yeah,
alternative approach to, well, just run more appointments. I hate being told that. I understand it is a numbers game, but if
right.
you're messing up on the numbers, it's not going to do you no good. I do like that. I've never thought about it like that, but I didn't mean to
Hmm.
cut you off. Go ahead.
No. I was just want to say. So I was actually doing a micro training on today, and the thing that he went over with me, there was a guy in our group who was writing nothing And I'll say this because he said it about himself. He came here, wasn't really plugging in, and had his electricity shut off, couldn't pay for groceries and stuff. And so, his upline said, all right, look, you're going to go over these metrics. You got to fill in these boxes and send it to me every week. And he started doing it, and he saw in areas of his business where he just wasn't following the system. And now he was on stage in Vegas, right, in 35K, his second month in, and so he's real good at kind of breaking up the diagnostics and kind of figure out where the problem is.
I like that, man. I haven't got a chance to meet Keyshawn yet. That's what I wanted to ask you about. If you saw the note in my Google Calendar, but don't you guys have like a boot camp or something like that coming up?
Yep, this Monday, Tuesday in Nashville. You're close in Nashville, right?
Yeah, about an hour and a half away, or 2 hours, hour and a half how I drive, so I can get there. But what's all? I've never been to a boot camp here before. I've been to the corporate overviews conference, stuff like that. What is the boot camp kind of tailored for?
So it's kind of like, okay, so you've got all these different metrics in your business, right? Your dials, your contacts, not just your appointments, but your sit ratio. Out of all those that you sit, how many of you writing it? Okay, so I gave my numbers today, and I put my exact numbers on there. So far I've had 9 appointments. I've sat 7 of them, right? So not bad, 78% sit ratio. Out of the 7 that I sat, I've written in 5 homes. Okay, 5 out of 7, still not bad. But then I'm breaking this up. I'm like, I want you guys to tell me because it looks good. 6,000 APV, 5 apps so far, real high sit ratio. But there's something missing from my business. Can y'all tell me what it is? And I didn't even realize it until I was putting it together this morning for my training. And somebody spoke up. They said, yeah, you wrote 5 apps in 5 homes. That's 1 app per home. Why are you not writing multiple apps in the home? And I said, that's exactly what I was missing. And so boot camp takes all of those metrics and kind of jams in it like a boot camp. Like you figure out where the errors are in your business in a 2-day period, as opposed to like
it's kind of more tailored towards closing business, like getting or more results based oriented.
Well, it's more of that diagnostic stuff. So what they'll do is they'll come in the morning and you'll dial as much as you possibly can from 7 to 9 a.m. and try to book same day or if have to next day appointments. And then they'll go through and they'll break it up. What is how many dials did you make, contacts, appointments, what lead type were you getting? And so they'll break it up. And then day 2, Kashawn is going to do a recruiting platform. So they're going over some really, really interesting type of kind of standardizing recruiting just for the Monteith group itself. And so he's going to be announcing that and kind of what we're doing to try
like
to help.
Recruiting practices, like where you need to be posting ads and how you need
No,
to be.
he's actually and he hasn't announced it yet, but it's more of they're going to be maximized as far as having recruiters to really kind of place people and grow the overall business. So
Okay.
it's based on the book E-Myth. I don't know if you read that. It's a book
No, I have not.
Yeah, it's a book called the E-Myth Revisited. But yeah, it's so there's 3 types of people in business. You've got the technician, the one doing the grind, right? We would call it the producer, probably. The manager, which we probably call the mentor, and then the entrepreneur, which is somebody like a Kashawn or somebody like a Melissa Weigel, or maybe Symmetry as a whole is the visionary, taking us somewhere. And then you got somebody who's got to kind of oversee the processes. Then you got somebody that's got to do the appointments, book the appointments, write the apps, that kind of a thing. So the E-Myth kind of teaches you how to be all 3 or to delegate it if you just can't. So
I like that. And what are kind of the details about this boot camp? Because I might honestly just swing by because I'm close.
Yeah.
I can afford to take a day and Tuesday to go.
It's in our crew app that we do, and I'll send it to you. I'll send it to your message it to you.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to. That's crew is like our Slack thing, isn't it? Like a group chat thing. Okay, I'll have to download that and you can send me an invite. No, it's cool. As far as production goes, what have you seen on average that you kind of do? Like, what do you do on average a month?
24.
24,000? That's a pretty healthy number. I know they tell you to check both boxes, 20 and 20. So I'm doing better than average. And was it always like that? Like, are you like one of those natural closers? You just came in and started doing it, or was it like a long process of learning how to actually
So
understand
my
sales and this stuff?
pretty much I when and I wasn't a natural, but being a pharmacist, my background is like you check every box, right? Because if you give somebody the wrong medication and they die or they go to
Yeah.
the
Oh,
hospital,
yeah.
like your life's gone. So I was very OCD about every step of the pharmacy process. And so when they came here and they were like, look, you do everything the system says to do, I was cool with that. And just, when you dial, here's how many times you dial, right? And here's when's the best time to dial. Here's what you say. Here's how you say it. All of that, and I saw results pretty quick because of that. So first full month was about 17,500. Next month was 24,000, and then it's just been kind of like that ever since.
Yeah. So you put up some big numbers last month, of course. So what are you at issued paid for the year so far?
I'm at about 86%. So I can tell you real quick, 16, 36. So I'm 196 submit. So 170,000 issue paid.
That's impressive, man. I like that. Obviously kicking my butt so far. I did come in and I think I wrote my first app in March. So I believe after snapshot hasn't came out, I was at 110,000 issued at the end of August. So I'll still be able to hit ears,
Right.
but because I know I asked Todd Spivey, they had more double production rounds coming, at least one more, so
Yeah.
I'll hit it regardless. But um, what were some of your biggest like setbacks, or did you have any like major issues trying to transition from pharmacy stuff to like you're now an insurance kind of
Yeah.
guy?
Yeah. So my biggest thing was the customer service aspect of it, because because that's the cult, the customer service or the corporate mentality, right? Is that, if you do everything right and then 5 days later they want to bring it back, you got to give them their money back and all this different stuff. And so I came here and I was very maybe kind of salesy, or very, I didn't, I would do reschedules. I would at times I would, my posture kind of want to was it should have been, because you go from the customer's always right to the customer's never right here, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I'm 87 years old. I want a $300,000 30-year term. Okay, well, you can't have it. You're right.
No, not
You can't.
happening. Not
Yeah, yeah. I
happening,
mean,
Miss Betty.
yeah, it doesn't matter how, it's not money based, it's health and age based. And so, it's our job as a professional just to, and with good, tact, be like, guide them to what they need as opposed to just giving them what they want. So,
So more like stance and posture. Was that kind of your problem? I think it was the same for me when I first started, but I'm a very aggressive person when it comes to this. It's kind of got to be your way or the highway. I think they're just buying your leadership, your authority, or
right.
buying your relationship with them is really what it comes down to in sales. What kind of advice would you give to new people coming in looking at symmetry, or maybe someone who just started? Because I know I was one of those people who I tried being like a sponge here. Like I'd
Hmm.
try calling Melissa every day, Jim every day, whoever. So I'm about to start reaching out to Keyshawn on a more regular basis, Linwood. So what would you kind of give as far as advice for new people coming in?
So one of the things that I see, the teams struggling with a lot is that you try to oversimplify or you try to overcomplicate something that's really simple. We had a thing in Vegas where two girls put on a skit. It was like the 7 habits of highly average agents, because there's a book, 7 habits of highly
Highly
effective
effective
people.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, by Steve Covey. And so they did 7 habits of highly average agents. And one of them's like, like I stayed up all night learning everything about Foresters and Mutual of Omaha. And the mentor was like, awesome. So how many apps did you write? Right? It's like, you know everything about everything, but you don't have anybody to tell it to. So like your information doesn't mean anything. And then and just different stuff, you know.
That killed the product knowledge people killed me. I know what
Yep.
question 3B is on the F&G app, but I wrote 2000 this month. Yeah, the know-it-alls are my favorite. That's funny, man.
Yeah, it's one of those things where they think, okay, so it's insurance, and the test, right, is really in depth. So they think they come here, they're gonna know all that stuff. I said, look, I tell them every time, I said, listen, you have somebody that you care about, yeah, my wife, girlfriend, dad, whatever. I said, if they wanted insurance, they're gonna buy it from me or they're gonna buy it from you. Well, they're gonna buy it from me. Well, why? I know more about the products than you do. Well, yeah, that's my dad. Okay. So you understand, right? That the relationship is more impactful than anything you can show them on a clipboard, you know?
Yeah, I like what Tony Capistrano says. You can't say the right thing to the wrong person, and you can't say the wrong thing to the right person.
Yep.
I like that. We're not trying to turn non-buyers into buyers here.
Yep. Yeah. And my wife's the same. She's starting this week, actually. Today is her
Oh, that's
last
awesome,
day
man.
as a
I
pharmacist.
think I think relationships are like powerhouses in this stuff, dude.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You
She
look
gonna
at
kill it.
people's wives that dial for them, and the husbands just run the appointments. It's not that hard to write 70K in a month when you're doing that.
Yep.
So
But here's what's cool about that is because I told her, I said, look, just be real with people. And so she's done like 5 hours this week because she's still working at her other job and today's her last day. So she's like, I'll just dial, run appointments when I can, when I'm not working the other job. And she called him and she said, she goes, I'll be honest with you. Give me 1 second. I'm just trying to find my spot on the script. I'm in training right now. And the lady goes, honey, we're all in training about something. She said, go ahead and read what you got to read. She wrote $3,000 on that lady last night or 2 nights ago. And it's like, people just want you to be real, right?
people respect honesty. When
Yep.
you tell someone what they can't get, you can't get a full payoff. You're gonna have to sell this house when you die. People buy that.
Right.
That's leadership right there. That's stance, posture, whatever you want to call it. That's just being real with someone. I would buy from someone like that.
Yep.
You sell how you buy at the end of the day.
Yep.
Did Keyshawn put that little skit together? Was that his idea?
No, well, I don't think so. So
He seems like a super serious guy, but I think he can be funny when he wants to.
he's
Man.
a straight kid, man. He is. And we got to see him in Vegas. And so a few of us qualified for what they call a day on the speedway, where we get to drive
Oh, I
like,
saw that. You driving those sports cars? That's pretty cool,
yeah,
dude.
a drive a Ferrari. It's like $500 for one lap around the track. And, you know, it's like we drove around 5 times. He went probably 5 separate times. He probably drove 25 times. He's a big kid, man. He got the fastest car, the most expensive one. He's just going around. And so, yeah,
Hey, life's
he's
too
goofy
short
when he
not to
can be.
enjoy it. Yes, you can't
Yeah.
take all that money with you to the grave. Might as well enjoy it. No, that's cool, man. Is he going to be running that boot camp? Like, is that
He's
his
going to
thing?
be there. Yeah, he told me he's going to make a point to be there. So he's going to be there.
Okay, I'll probably just have to. Does it cost anything to get in, or is it just like free for his group?
Nope. So it's the if you want to just pop in, it's free. So the only thing that costs there is like obviously, right, if you want to stay in the hotel or get food or something. But
Gosh, no, I'll make it a point to come over there and meet some people. Association's everything in this. I'm sure you're well aware of that.
yep.
What's the most important core value that maybe you guys as a group go over? What's the most important core value to you that Symmetry has?
To me, it's probably the first one, relationships matter. People come first. That's my mom and the impact that she had. She's the reason I kind of got into this. And just the more I do this business, like when I sit in front of somebody and I realize I didn't help them, or maybe I did an app, but not two or three or whatever the case is, I look at that and I kind of take notes and journal afterwards, and I realize it's like I think I majored a little bit too much on maybe the facts of the protection, and instead of building a relationship with them and something like that. So I find that whether it's recruiting, whether it's building the team, writing the policies, anything, right? If you don't have a relationship with that individual, like it's not going to go anywhere. you know?
Absolutely. It's finding, it's really just peeling an onion, digging down to what they're running from when it comes to recruiting. You're running from a 9 to 5, you're running from a being away from your family.
Right.
Symmetry might be the right fit for you, or this policy might be the right fit for you if you're going to lose your house if you die. It's really just digging down into people's why. I think most people just gloss over that. Oh,
Right.
hey, you want to buy insurance? Here you go. Here's full payoff. Oh, you don't want anything? You need to think about it. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
I'll give you as much time as you need.
Yeah.
People that you should not be showing numbers within the first 5 minutes of an appointment. And you're setting yourself up for failure.
Yep.
Um, where do you guys kind of feel like some of the strengths are in your organization? Like, are you have you built up a team yet, or like how many?
Yeah. So I had some stuff so I started that Kashawn became my mentor in June. The mentor I had before wasn't much of a builder. And so when he left, and Kashawn took
Oh, so your
over,
upline actually like left Symmetry and you got
right,
moved under Keyshawn. Okay,
right,
got you.
right. So the previous upline wasn't much of a builder. And so he actually joked with me. He's like, I should be given a crown for being the longest key leader in this company, because he'd been a key leader for like 3.5, 4 years.
Oh wow.
And it was a long time. And so he left in the middle of June. At the beginning of June, it was just me. So he leaves, Kashawn takes over. At the end of June, it's 2 people. The next month, July, we had 4. August, we had 5. And September, we had 6. Um, and this month we have at least 7. So it's constantly, going up ever since Kashawn started getting
Like
involved.
those are your downlines now, 7 active riders or just 7
Mhm.
people.
7
That's a
writers.
pretty healthy growing rate for what you've done so far.
Yeah.
And are you mainly on like ZipRecruiter? Like what are you using for your recruiting stuff?
Hierology.
Hierology. What is that, like another website or?
It creates more of like a funnel system. So that's one of the things he's going to be going over in the boot camp. One of the things with ZipRecruiter, it was kind of a wide net, or maybe it was just the way that we were doing it was a wide net. I don't know, but I'd have probably 30 interviews on my calendar and 5 of them show up. With Hierology, I have a 90% of them are showing up for their interviews, and like they're intentional, like they know what they're doing. They know why they're here.
I like that. It's kind of more like Indeed or something, like people are looking for what they're looking for.
Right.
And I like people are serious about it because yeah, I think there is a lot of fluff on ZipRecruiter,
Hmm.
and especially when you got 18 different Symmetry ads, just Hadley agency, this agency, this agency. They don't know. They start applying for each one. Now you got 18 people sending them a packet. You don't know
Right.
whose morning call they're going to show up on. That is kind of frustrating. I'll say that. So
Yep.
Virology, I've never heard it. Yeah, I'll have to check this boot camp thing out. Wade, did you have any like last minute closing things? Any piece of advice you want to give to new agents? I want to be respectful of your time and appreciate you coming on here. You got any
Yeah. No, I
closing?
mean, I just think that when people finally take off, it's immediately after they figure out, it's really just putting your foot in the snow prints of the people that kind of went in front of you. I had an agent who wasn't writing consistently. I'm just like, why don't you call me from the home? Are you against that? And she's like, well, I just don't understand what it does. I'm like, why don't you just do it? And we'll figure out, just trust. That's part of the system, right? Why don't you just do that and start doing it? And it has been writing ever since, consistently writing ever since. And it's just, when you overcomplicate something that's really, really simple, and it's hard to do. This business is hard, right? Like it's not like anybody and everybody could do it. I think anybody that wants to, have grit
Yeah,
and
you can
follow the
learn it.
system,
Anyone
you
who's
could
serious
learn.
about
Anybody can
learning it
learn
can
it.
learn it.
Yeah. But not everybody's got the character or willing to do it. It's like what Casey Watkins says: if it was easy, everybody'd do it, and if everybody did it, we'd all be making $6 an hour. But the fact that it's hard but simple, like it's not rocket science. Like I can tell you what I do in about 5 minutes for the whole week. I just do it over and over and over again. But just keep doing it, and just I've used this illustration now the last couple of weeks. Every deck of cards has 4 aces. You turn over 10 cards, and you're upset because you didn't find 4 aces, it don't mean the deck's bad. It just means you haven't done it long enough. So
I've never heard that. See,
yeah,
I love it. Someone's always dropping bombs like that on me. Like, dang, I like that. Sounds
yeah.
good. Uh, when you were talking about your writer who's not writing consistently, like I've got people on my downline new to this, like kind of
Mhm.
going through that same phase in their business. Maybe scared to call from the home. Like, what do you see as the biggest thing helping people to get over that initial fear or whatever story they're telling themselves that's what's really holding them back from being a producer? What do you think the best thing they can do is? Like maybe they're setting the appointments, dialing, they're just not, they're showing up and they're not closing them. Like what do you suggest then?
Yeah, so I just go over one of the things that I tell people to do is, obviously for like legal reasons, like don't record somebody else, right? But I mean, unless you have the consent, which I don't know if I'd recommend that either. But I mean, I always tell them, record yourself dialing, or if I have time, let me listen in on your dialing, or video record your Zoom appointments. Or, because if you're in the home, obviously you probably wouldn't be like, hey, hold on, let me turn on this camera. But if you're doing a Zoom, you could have the camera like right here and they can't see, but you're recording yourself. And there are ways that people sit, or the fluctuations of the voice, or they get like anxious and stuff, and you don't realize you're doing it. But when like a third party is sitting back and looking at that,
Yeah,
then
the
you could be
tonality.
like, yeah, like, hey man, you were way too salesy, or like you seem real desperate on this one, or you talk too much, or whatever. And can help kind of diagnose that. So yeah,
No,
and
I
I told
like
the lady
that.
with this, the one that started right or calling from the home, I just told them, I said, listen, because they just written an app and they were kind of excited. And I said, so let me ask you, because you're excited and I'm excited for you, right? But why are you not doing it more consistently? Why are you not calling from the home? Long story short, she came from another IMO where it was just like, figure it out on your own. Like, just go make me some overrides, and I don't have anything for you. And it took her a while to kind of see, like, look, we're here to like, I'm only successful if you're successful. So I genuinely want you to be able to help families, because then if I help you, that's going to help me. So I
Yeah,
think
we're both making money then.
right.
What are you scared? Yeah, that's the, I don't know why that's such a big fright for people, like calling from the home or just asking for help, getting out of your own way.
Hmm.
Because my first week, dude, I sucked till I started calling from the home. It's like, Alex, I don't know what I'm doing, man. That
Yep.
no,
Yep.
that's good. Well, Wade, I appreciate your time, man. I'll let you get back
Absolutely.
to your day, Mr. Rockstar.
All right.
Good job last month, and thank you for coming on here, buddy.
I appreciate it.
I'll see you in Nashville.
Okay. We'll see you.